For over 3 years in Cameroon, the UN Women's Second Chance Education and Vocational Learning Program has been providing a comprehensive and everlasting solution to the problems faced by marginalized women and girls in conflict-affected areas. The target population includes internally displaced persons, refugees, and vulnerable women in their respective communities. Their lives have been transformed through 3 key pathways: vocational training that provides them with a pathway to employment, entrepreneurship training and skills that support them to start their own businesses, and lately, re-entry into formal education, like the case of Bamenda in the northwest region of Cameroon.
Thank you, Second Chance Education.
Training and creation of mentorship pools would further guarantee community ownership, active participation, and sustainability of the program.
The first thing is that the ownership of this program is guaranteed through such mentors in their communities. The sustainability of the program as well is guaranteed. But above all, the lives of many women will be transformed when they go through this mentorship program. And this is actually the impact we're looking at the end of the day. And this would, of course, be in respective domains of their interests, whether education, whether business, entrepreneurship.
The activity has taken place in Buea in the southwest region and Bamenda in the northwest region of Cameroon.
Today is actually a training of community volunteers and mentors who are selected from respective communities in the southwest region, especially Fako. And these mentors are actually going to serve as role models. They are going to guide, they are going to support vulnerable women and girls in their respective communities. And that's why we've selected those from civil society, for instance, those from the business sector, from the educational sector, amongst other sectors where these women can mentor other vulnerable women in their communities. And this is within the framework of Second Chance Education Program in Cameroon.
In Buea on November 3rd, Big Steps Outreach Network, BONET, one of the implementing partners of the UN Women's SCE Programme, has involved more civil society organizations to volunteer to mentor women and girls in areas where they provide services.
I have seen how a second chance can be given, especially to females.
I've gained so many skills as concerns volunteerism and mentoring, which was something I was not very familiar with. And I think that going back to my community and to my organization, I'm going to implement and even go further to do more research.
As a CEO who is heading an organization, these are activities that we have been doing in our various organizations, so which we are going to mainstream and continue doing it because there is need for it.
Of course, this workshop has helped us to gain these skills, wherein we are going to, of course, implement in the communities where we provide service, such that we can, of course, mentor young girls and women who, of course, do not have access to some social services.
Mentorship is a crucial element for career development in a given domain of life and is highly useful for marginalized women and girls to live their full potential and dreams.
And even with volunteerism, you learn skills for yourself that nobody could tell you. With this, I will also try to act as a mentor to most of my peers in my community, and by so doing, we will champion the fact that we have to take responsibilities for our community development.
There is no doubt that the crisis in the English-speaking parts of Cameroon has left devastating effects on the population, especially women.
Some of them are single mothers, some of them are divorcees, some of them are vulnerables in the community, some of them are displaced and cannot find their families. So this type of programs can help them to rebuild their life.
The mentorship program will therefore serve as a continuity of the learning process, a source of inspiration. Graduates and other volunteers will share their experiences, knowledge, and skills with other marginalized women and girls in society.
These community volunteers and mentors to go back to the community and mentor, support and guide other young women in their communities so that they can get into jobs, they can get into vocational training and in everything that they are doing there.
Bamenda Women Empowerment Center on the 18th of November 2022 hosted the training of community volunteers and mentors to support, guide and serve as role models for women and young women.
Mentoring is what we have been doing in our community. Coming from a minority community, it's really been a very difficult journey. But with this workshop, I've learned how the kind of skills that as a mentor I need to put in place, and I shared some of my problems and I was able to get maybe some suggested solutions.
Participants were also drawn from civil society organizations based in the Northwest region and closer to the beneficiaries of the SCE program, plus other vulnerable women folk. Since Bamenda and Buea do not play host to refugees, the target beneficiaries here include IDPs and marginalized women and girls in the host communities.
I am living with some abilities that I didn't have, and I'm able and ready to mentor youth in my community. I'm going to be able to get the young women and girls, the vulnerable women in my community, to get maybe empowered.
My peers, the young people, especially women and girls and those living with disabilities, to help them on the idea of mentorship and volunteerism.
BONET, the implementing partner, assured the newly trained mentors and volunteers of the technical support to ease their task.
You can have volunteers in so many quarters, and let's see people working from this.
With more mentors in society, the multiplier effect will produce more economically autonomous women and girls in the country, thereby reducing the dependency rate.
We're envisaging a multifaceted level of transformation that gives women in communities a second chance, which they would otherwise not have if they didn't benefit from such mentorship, but most especially from Second Chance Education Program.
The Second Chance Education and Vocational Learning Program has transformed the lives of over 17,000 vulnerable women and girls in the conflict-affected zones in Cameroon since 2019.